So I gotta explain the strangest thing that happened in my business. I have an online business, which I love, and I have a landscaping business, which I love. Two businesses, but the weirdest thing happened that upgraded my entrepreneur mindset that I have to share with you, and it's scary. So I'm just around the house. I'm on my treadmill right now in some pajamas. I got a little hole in my shirt because I kick it around the house. And so I have these epiphanies, and this is so powerful. So in your business, you can just keep swimming and surviving, or you can really start to thrive. And to start to thrive means you have to overcome self-limiting beliefs. You have to get coaching. You have to maybe invest some money. You have to draw lines in the sand, systematize, do things that you don't normally do. The definition of insanity, Albert Einstein said, is to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. Think about that. It's true. So in order to grow my online business, my passionate online business, you got to hear what I'm going to say. This is crazy. I had to start systematizing my landscaping business and hiring employees to help and quote unquote get out of the field, which just means not be handcuffed to the truck and doing all the work and being in the field with the customers, which I love being in the field. But anyways, I had to get out of the field mostly in order to run my online business and more run the business instead of being in the business. Okay, makes sense. Here's the weird part. When you're an owner operator of a landscape business or any service business, there's lots of vendors and places of business that you go into when you're driving the truck. Basically, you go into the landscape supply, many different landscape supplies. You go into different dump sites to dump off all the debris and the rubbish, and you go into all these different places and you run these routes while you're driving, and you go into the places, and the places are environments, and there's people that work there, there's owners, there's employees, and for the most part, my point is, when you live in a town, it's pretty much all the same people that have the same consistent jobs, and they've worked there for many years, and you kind of get to know these people, not really personally, but you know them, and you're a regular customer, you're a business owner, and you have an account with them, like the guy at the dump, the people that work at the dump. You see them all the time. It's cool. The lady at the landscape supply. Yeah, you need 8 yards of mulch. How's everything going? Good. Oh, great. How was your winter? Great. Good. Christmas. Okay. You don't really care, but it's the same people, and then it just becomes a routine. And it becomes comfortable because now you know all the people. When you call there, they know your voice. It's just running business. It's cool. And because of that, you can run your business smoother, and it becomes predictable and it becomes comfortable because everybody kind of knows each other, and they know, how can I say this? When you go in there, you know who you're dealing with, and you know you can get all your landscape supplies, and you feel comfortable dropping $4,000 on some landscape supplies, and they're all familiar faces. So when you get out of the field and you hire people to do that stuff for you, what happens is you no longer see any of those familiar faces. So it feels uncomfortable because you're not doing the things that you normally do. You've changed your role in your business. You know what's funny is I had a phone holder thing right here and it broke. That'd be perfect if I wasn't going like this. Okay, so let me get to the fucking point. So I get out of the field in my business for a year and a half. And then I never saw any of those familiar faces ever again because I hired employees to do that shit. What happened was I had to make some critical decisions and shrink my landscape business down to a lean, mean, money-making little profitable machine that is just tiny and profitable so I can really grow my online business, right? I can't explain why, but this was perfect for me. Well, that required me to go back into the field part-time, which was fine. A year and a half goes by, and now I'm back in the truck going into these places of business, the dump, the landscape supply, seeing all the familiar faces in the environments of, I'm in that role again. It's like going back to an old job. The weirdest thing happened is that nobody, not that I'm important or special, nobody even noticed that I had disappeared for a year and a half. As soon as I walked in, it was almost like that time never missed. It was like a time-space continuum, like a time capsule. And when I walked into all these places, I felt like I was going into the past, and everybody was still working at the same places. I'm talking like dozens of people were working at the same places of business. Everything looked the same. It was as if an entire year and a half didn't even pass. And then there I was back in it. And I had this whole experience where I had like grown my business and gotten out of the field and grew an online business and literally flew around the country doing all these different things. And then I went back into like this old role, and it felt weird because now I had been out of the bubble and back in now in the bubble. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what I realized is that years can go by, like a decade, and everybody just looks a little older, but they're still working the same job, selling the same products, and it's the same thing. And you can get stuck in that and not even realize that, oh my God, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I'm all amped up because I need to do cardio really bad. It's winter in Michigan and I'm freaking out. I need water, and I get anxious when I don't like run on a treadmill. So I'll be fine in a little bit. I get worked up because I have a lot of energy. And I felt the pulling of the habit gravity trying to pull me back into that role, but I had already outgrown that role. What I realized is that one, nothing can stop an idea that's time has come, and two, once you like, a mind can never shrink. Once a mind is expanded, it can never shrink back to its original state. Because your mind is quantum, it's cosmic, like it's your super conscious is now waking up to higher levels of entrepreneurship, higher levels of fulfillment and love and giving and expansion of business. So you try to shrink back down to like, Joe in the paint department. I worked in a paint department when I had like 50 jobs. I made a video about it before I started my business. And I was like, whoa. So this really does all come back to your thinking. And now if you bring it down to like the tangible world, you have to have a vehicle, like an economically viable, sustainable business or service or product or something that you can exchange for goods and services for money. So if you're selling a really low ticket thing or doing a low profit thing or something that's highly competitive or saturated or something that, tens of thousands of people are lined up willing to do the same exact thing for less money than you, and it's not a super high skill, like you might economically just be trapped because you've got a slow vehicle or a crappy vehicle. Now there's people that do like landscaping that make millions of dollars that sell high ticket luxury outdoor living spaces that are beautiful and make people dream, and they save up and they spend $250,000 to get their backyard turned into an oasis, and they hire an architect, a landscape architect, and a designer and a crew of like 25 people come in and turn their backyard into a beautiful, with like a waterfall that goes to a pool, to a jacuzzi, with an outdoor kitchen and beautiful brick pavers that are all heated with a pergola and beautiful plants and lighting and outdoor surround sound music. And it's like these people are like, oh my God, we've dreamed of this for 20 years and now we have it. And the family comes over and there's like, wow. Now that's different than mowing someone's lawn or trimming their bushes or putting down some mulch for $1,500. You would say $1,500, that's a lot. But when you look at the cost of running an actual legitimate business and hiring employees and having insured trucks and all that, $1,500, you got to do that every single day, day after 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 day, every single day, in order to just make a couple $100 profit. That's the dirty little secret of running a service business, is you have to have multiple trucks hitting these jackpot, highly qualified, highly marketed, highly systematized, all the fat squeezed out, kinks ironed out type of operation that's really systematized and efficient, which takes money, which takes infrastructure, which takes like a shop with a place of business where the trucks can move in and out quickly, and there's backup trucks so nothing goes down, and there's maintenance, and this takes sometimes millions of dollars. Or the owner tries to do it all himself with a couple key people, and they burn themselves out, and it destroys the personal life because there's not enough money to put off into investments and cash flow producing assets that create lifestyle. There's a lot of like quantum intelligence and financial intelligence and mechanical and technical intelligence and process mapping, workflow design, marketing, advertising, systems, operations, administrative skills, people that do all that, and hiring the who's of the people, and having a type of vision that is so high that you attract people that want to work for you because you have a serious business. So why would you even do all of that unless you fucking have the vision and the passion for it? So like I said, if you're just trying to build all this shit so you could become a millionaire for you and your lifestyle, you better be careful, because you're bringing people in that are serious people. You're going to be putting them on payroll and giving them bonuses and healthcare and all these things, and they have families to feed. This is very serious shit, the penalty of leadership as an entrepreneur. So why would you grow something for your own selfish reasons if it's not truly to help other people, if it's not aligned with God's mission and mandate and calling in your life and your own purpose? You're doing it just for money? What if you wake up and have a midlife crisis and you realize you built something for you, but you can't build something just for you? In extremely rare cases, unless you're like a really high-paid employee or freelancer, you have to build a team of people in order to get after it. You got to make sure it's something you're highly passionate about, unless it's a structure that you build out of full conscientiousness that structure is designed and intended specifically to build a business and to have a culture and to attract people and customers and clients and flows of goods and services for cash flow to funnel your lifestyle, business, or dream, or whatever else you're doing, or mission or mandate. You have to have a consciousness and be conscious about that structure. Because if you're unconscious and you're just doing it for some weird secondary emotional payoff, then you're going to invite suffering, experience suffering, create suffering, unnecessary suffering. Provided that all the economics at play are available for you to do something else. Unless you're in a country or like a third world country or somewhere here where you don't have a choice and you guys all have to do it just to make ends meet, and you're clear about that. But that's another situation too. So with all that being said, I just wanted to say all that and vent all that out, because I'm explaining to you that I'm conscious, or at least I pontificate or hallucinate that I'm conscious, that you got to be careful of what you wish, you say you want, or what you wish for, because be careful, you might end up at the top of a $4 million business or a $10 million business and realize it's not what you wanted at all, and you're completely miserable, and you were only trying to do it because you wanted your dad to be proud of you, or you wanted your wife to accept you after you maybe were completely crazy alcoholic and were mean to her, and you're so thankful. I was never an alcoholic, I'm just making stuff up, that she stayed with you through all that, and now you want her to love you. Or maybe you feel like unloved and you're like your mom. It's just like weird stuff that we as human beings try to overcome trauma by getting rich. In the most simple aspect, we want to feel worthy. And I think a deeper fear is if you prayed and meditated or whatever to you, like the Zen monk says, like you would just get rid of all desire and you would just realize you could just live mediocre and be an employee and be completely happy and fulfilled. And sure, you'll struggle to make ends meet, but like you could be totally happy. Some broke people are the happiest people. Some rich people are the happiest people. So to get more conscious about that stuff, look where I've gone down this path, because all paths lead to this. To get more conscious about that stuff is a pretty terrifying thing to wake up to. Why is it terrifying? Guess why? Because the ego has an attachment to an identity. And the identity is, well, I want to get rich so I can be someone. But then the scarier reason is, you realize that you get rich, nobody cares that you're rich. Nobody cares that you have a Ferrari. They might look at it at a red light and be like, oh, I want that for me. They don't even care about the guy driving it. They didn't even see you. And if they did see you, they only want to know what you did to get it so they can get it. They don't care about you. They don't care. right? And then if you get really rich and you pass away, everybody that loves you is fighting over your money. Or any of these, I'm not trying to say it's a negative thing, because there are people who I know, a wealthy man who literally sends mission trips of people to third world countries to help. They dig water wells and they do these beautiful, amazing things. I know another very successful man who is a dentist who goes to a third world country regularly and does free dental work and helps people that need dental work that could never afford it. And this is potentially saving people's lives, because this is beautiful things. So if you take your gifts and skills and callings and talents and you help other people and you do good things, that's good. So what I'm talking about is a higher calling here. Isn't it funny? Every time I just open up and I just start blabbing, all this stuff starts coming out naturally. So here's what I wanted to say, back to my original point. As I walk on this treadmill, I'm happy now. Don't allow yourself to get squeezed down into a little tiny version of life that's like a repeating Groundhog's Day. Because years will go by, and that's might be what it takes for you. But if you say you want more, and you speak that you want more, and in your heart you want more, what's more? More love, more enjoyment, more fulfillment, more giving, or more busy, more taxes, more responsibilities, more of less sleep. More of what? What do you want more of? Get really frickin' crystal clear about what you say you want and what it looks like and everything. Otherwise, just default realities will just happen, and then you'll be subject to that. And now, to cap and conclude all this, we live in a time right now, at least that I'm aware of, where, of course, there's bad news and things are tough. I'm sure, I know. We just watched a documentary last night. I'm really into right now watching the documentaries about the crash of 2008, everything that happened, and quantitative easing and the financial crises, and just being aware of the markets and all that stuff. Not that I can control it, but it's important. Like if you start making a whole bunch of money, you don't want to go buy $1 million house and you and your wife get Range Rovers and Mercedes, and you get a boat and all this stuff, and you're not even aware that everything is literally about to crash. That's another thing. It's another video for a different time. I have a friend who made a whole lot of money. I have a couple friends. This is why I've learned a lot about this through their experience, and things like that have almost destroyed them, or have destroyed them financially, and now they got back up to the top and they make a whole lot of money again, and they're very careful with their money, because when things seem good, what goes up must come down. So you the first time in your life you start making some money and you're like, oh my God, I've never made money like this in my whole life. Oh my God, I can't even help myself. Oh my God. You're like, you want to go feel what it's like to buy a nice watch, or just walk into like the mall and buy an entire outfit head to toe, including socks and underwear and shoes and a hat, and like just go drop a few $100. That's not a lot of money, relative. You want to know what it feels like to be able to actually buy things, or just swipe your card and pay for everybody's dinner, and get that out of your system. If that stuff is in your system, I believe you got to get it out of your system. I had to do some of that. I had to feel what it was like to get a brand new truck and to be able to buy a treadmill, to have my own treadmill. I had to feel what it was like to get my wife diamond earrings for our wedding anniversary. Not crazy expensive ones, but diamond earrings. I had to feel what it was like to buy a watch and buy an outfit and go on a vacation, and nothing too crazy. Or us literally go out to eat on a date night to a nice steak dinner, just blow, $100 and something bucks. I had to feel what it was like to be able to give away money, to get it out of my system, because I wanted to contribute and help, and feel what it feels like to be a little bit successful. Now, here's the next question. Do you have to feel what it feels like to go buy a Ferrari? If you absolutely have to feel it, and even though that you consciously know, and the people that say that they bought in Ferraris, yeah, after about 3-4 months, I know people who have Ferraris. After 3-4 months, it's just a car. And you're like, what? What do you mean? Dude, I know someone who, I've asked a person who drives an exotic luxury sports cars. What is it like? Do you just wake up every day and just hop in it and drive it? And go, oh my God, my life is constantly amazing. Oh my God, I'm successful. I have a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. Oh my God. And do you just drive, like, what do? Do you just live on that constant high? And is everybody constantly proud of you? Or are you just like showing up at their house and they're taking them for rides in the Ferrari all day and you're just like cleaning the rims? As like, I remember a time in my life when I was like 18. No, wait, because I've had a whole bunch of cars. Basically, when you kind of get your first car and it's not covered in dents and it's not all smashed up, even though you know it's a piece of shit, you still like take it and wash it, clean it out, detail it, take pride in it, get the oil change or change the oil yourself or scrub the rims, and you just like, you're so proud to have a car that's not a complete piece of shit, but it's still a piece of shit. That feeling is so amazing. Even it's your Lamborghini, but at some point that kind of goes away. So what I'm saying here is like, if you think that a Ferrari or a mansion is going to make you whole and complete and make everybody love you, you're probably wrong, because there's a lot of baggage and work and responsibility that comes along with being a steward of something like that. There are literally people who win the lottery and they go buy their $4 million mansion, and they haven't even built the skill set of how to maintain it. And then after years goes by, it's like the roof has hole, like, you know what I mean? Whatever they did, in all types of stuff, it's a mess. And now this thing is like, they don't even know how to have the consciousness around how to maintain it. I feel good. I feel like I just vented all this stuff out. You got this.